Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You're tuned into my weekly talk radio TV show called Take My Advice. I'm Not Using It. Get happy with Dr. Marissa every Tuesday at naturally high noon, broadcasting out of Burbank, California with UB and Go Studios. And then every Saturday at 6 with my CNBC-NBC station, KCAA, AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, and then downloadable and searchable everywhere that iHeartRadio is, and Stitcher and TuneIn and iTunes, and now Amazon Music and Spotify, everywhere that you want to have more hope and happiness, because that's what this show is about. So there is no gossip, no scandal, and no K words, no Kardashian talk at all. In fact, no political talk at all, because I want you to be happy 88% of the time. So if you've missed any of my past shows, from Layla Ali to Corey Feldman to Fran Drescher talking about how to reduce your risk of cancer, to all the cast on Happy Days, from Marianne Williamson to Marianne from Gilligan's Island, then keep it tuned here. You can get most of my past shows. You can actually watch them on my YouTube channel. So go and free subscribe there. And you'll also get to see some of my red carpet interviews with John Travolta, Halle Berry, Quincy Jones. So just enjoy, because that's why I am here. And today is actually my 440th consecutive week on the air. Unbelievable. I must be having fun, because it definitely has flown. And I'm grateful to also just been nominated for a couple of different categories in the Discover Pods Award. So I know I have a lot of awards and I'm so appreciative, but I figured 2020 might be good with another one, just so we have something to contrast everything that we've all been going through. And today, I thought it would be fun to resurrect one of my old series, which, I actually went over to Unity Radio in addition to this show on Thursdays just to do call-ins. Some of you may be listening from that. Don't worry, choose happy. But because of the book tour and the 8 Ways to Happiness going #1, I had to stop that show. Something's got to give. But I thought, today, let's go to the phone lines and see how I can help someone, anyone, raise their vibration to 88% happy or beyond. And if you would like to call in, it's 323-524-2599, and we'll try to schedule you in. If you do not get in or you get tired of holding, please do contact me at www.drmarissa.life, and we'll get you scheduled for another call-in. But without further ado, I am going to welcome from, let's see, I get always mixed up. Is it Indiana or Illinois? But welcome to the studio, Alma.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, I am happy, thank you. And is it Indiana or Illinois?
Congratulations.
Thank
you.
It's
Illinois.
It is Illinois. Okay, Illinois. So welcome from Illinois, Alma. And how I like to start my call-ins is to have you just sit comfortably, put your feet on the ground right now. Are they on the ground?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. Palms up in your lap. And now gently close your eyes and take a deep breath in through your nose. And release. Soft shoulders, soft elbows, soft knees. Another deep breath in. and connecting with me through chi eternal energy, the breath of life. And one more deep breath in and releasing all the stories and the drama. Beautiful. When you're ready, open your eyes. And on a
Okay.
scale of 1 to 10, if you look at your relationships in your life, and 10 is fabulous, everything is superb with your relationships, and 1 is not good, you want to live on a desert island, how would you rate the current state of your relationships in your life on average?
On 8, honestly, 8.
Okay, beautiful. And then in the area of career or work or job or how your creativity expresses itself, same scale.
I think that's about a 6.
All right. And the last is health and well being. So that includes mental health, emotional health, physical health, uh, um, and well being. So, what on a scale of 1 to 10?
6.
6. Okay. So we've got 2 areas to choose from. Since you have an 8 on relationships, that's fabulous. So the first thing is to celebrate that. I have 8 in relationships. 8's a lucky number in Chinese. It's a homonym for good fortune. So you have good fortune in your relationships. Does that sound like a fortune cookie or what? So the question then is your choice. What would you like to have a little bit more happiness on?
Weight.
Ah,
Losing weight. You
ah,
know, I'm retired. I am getting my everyday schedule back up. I took care of my mother, my husband, and I, and she passed away in August. And
oh,
so now I have to reflect on me. My mother had 89 beautiful years, and we were so
beautiful.
blessed to have her. And she was such a beautiful soul. So I know that she's content, and I would not want her to suffer because she was experiencing severe Alzheimer's at the closing time of her life. So we're
Mm,
good. We're good, and we're happy
beautiful.
that God gave
She's on
me
the
the
other.
experience of being with her.
Oh, that's so beautiful. What's her name?
Johnny.
Johnny. So peace in, peace out to
Mhm.
Johnny. And we know she's still here. Her love is still here. She's loving us from the other side in a way that she couldn't even love us while she was on this side. So we're just embracing and remembering her whole, not in her last years with Alzheimer's, but in her fullness of who she is. And I love your attitude about it. And I'm grateful that, that isn't a source of unhappiness right now. But yes, it's
No.
time for you. And this, if you've heard of any of my shows, this is my Achilles heel as well. So I hear you. I'm not one of those super skinny, can eat everything. I hate those. No, hate's a strong word. I envy those people. I also I'm grateful that I've been on this little journey for the last 48 days, and I have dropped over 14. So I'm in a position where I can tell
Great.
you, thank you. I am in a position that I can tell you what I'm doing, but it's not a light switch. So give me sort of your story. What have your challenges been around weight? And what does the voice say? So we always have, when we struggle with anything, any kind of addiction, any kind of I know I should or I know I shouldn't, and I still do it anyways, right? So,
I think it's snacking. It's
okay.
definitely snacking. I'm getting a little better with it. I have done all I can to minimize my sugar intake. I am doing a better job with understanding that I can eat less and I'm still be satisfied. And I'm trying to remember my water intake. What's frustrating is that I can't go to the gym anymore. My husband, who's with his kind self, bought me a couple of exercise equipment, and it is just making it priority, like where in my voice to say that I can't do without it. I have to do it today.
Yes. What does the voice say? The one that uh, the cartoon is, my bathing suit says you better go work out today, and my sweatpants said, it's okay. Just relax. So what voice is the one?
I'm like yeah.
What voice is the one that
The
says to
voice.
you don't need to do this, or you can have that snack?
I start putting a calendar together and I start listing so many different things, and I don't stay on the priority. It will say, well, today, Alma, you've got to measure this. You've got to go out to the yard and cut stuff. You've got to do that. But instead of that, quiet time to say, go to the room. It's only less than 50 feet away, and go and do your exercise. Go and do your stretches. Do what you need to do to feel better. And I am getting better because I want to feel better, because it's not, I realize that mine is not so much the weight, but the fact is that if I do something consistently, it will make me feel better.
So the voice, there's two voices I hear. One is the one that is very kind, that says, I am trying, I am doing better, I am. And then the other one, it's like, I still don't do it enough. I still don't. And the two of them are fighting. And this is a very common issue with people who don't do what they really want to do. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Yeah. So in fact, I remember very clearly when I was trying to quit smoking, I would say that the strong voice would say, it's not good for you, and we can do this with weight. It's not good for your joints. It's not good for the way you look. You don't like the way you look when you're heavy. You don't like the way your clothes fit. And that, right? That.
Right.
It's not rocket science. I know that. Right? So then why don't I do it? So then we have another voice, and I call it the brat. And the brat says, you're not the boss of me. What do you mean I can't have that donut? What do you mean I have to work out? Fork you. I don't want to do that. I don't feel like doing that. What do you mean I have to return that call? What do you mean I have to apply for that job? What do you mean I have to? It's that same bratty little, don't tell me what to do. So when the two are clashing, the critic, who's always, you're not good enough, and the brat, don't tell me what to do, then we are not able to do anything that we want to do. So understanding your voices, which is the tool that I'm doing right now. This is the Happy 88 tool that's in chapter 1 of my book, 8 Ways to Happiness, is naming the critic, so you really know who's talking. I know in the old days it would say, if you hear voices, there's something, you're going crazy. I'm here to tell you, if you cannot identify the voices in your head that are telling you either how you're horrible or how to fork you, if you can't get a handle on that, you will never be able to be aware of what's going on. So I want you to begin to develop the referee, and the referee is your balanced, centered self. So you have,
I like that.
Yeah, thank you. You have, Alma, a balanced centered. The balanced centered Alma is the one who said to me today, it's time for me. It's time for me to take care of me. And I want to take care of me because I know how important that is. That is balance centered Alma. The critic is the one that says, I put this together and I and then I'm like and then I do it. Okay, that's the critic, right? And then the brat is the one you didn't talk about, but I know is in play, is the one that says, you can have this snack. It's not that big of a deal. Or, no one can tell me what to. I feel like it now, so I'm going to have it. That's the brat. So your job or your mission, should you accept it, is to soothe both of them and say, thank you very much. I know you're trying to help me, but yelling at me to do this and that, or punishing me or criticizing me or jumping at me because I haven't been perfect in following what I said is not helping. You got to be tired. You've been yelling at me my entire life. Take a seat, have a vacation, sit down in the passenger seat. You can still talk, put your seatbelt on. I love you, but I got this. And balance-centered Alma is the one that knows. She knows, but she also knows she's not perfect. So balance-centered Alma can say things like, as long as I'm doing the best that I can with the time that I have and the resources I have, I'm good. So I'm not perfect. No one asks me to be perfect except for me. I am my own worst enemy that I'm not going to be anymore. And I'm just going to have fun with this. I'm going to do the best that I can. If I do 8 out of 10 times what I say I'm going to do, I'm good. And look at all the things.
Now, I like that.
Good. And look at all the things that are going well in my life. I am a really good, kind, caring person with great relationships. So they can't all be lying. So why don't I turn that nice, caring, kind back on me? I wouldn't expect them. I wouldn't yell at them if they got 8 out of 10. So you begin to work the muscle and exercise the muscle of the balance-centered, kind, caring, middle, balanced Alma. And that same person will say to the brat, I hear you, darling. I know you don't want to work out right now. I know you're going to complain about your body hurting. I know you're going to want that snack. And, if there's something really, really worth having, maybe we'll have that. But this isn't that big of a deal. This is not that special. We had one of those yesterday. We don't need to have it now. Well, let's just wait one day. And look at how good we've been doing on sugar. And look at how good, you know what? Don't you feel better? Like, wasn't it great when we tried on that dress that we haven't been able to fit in? Oh, okay. Yeah, that's great. So that's what we're doing. So I need your help. I want you to sit down behind me, Miss Little Brat, and where I can see you. I love you, but put your seatbelt on. We can still have fun with this. We can have a little calendar. And I promise you that if we get 8 days in a row of doing this exercise or doing this stretching, we're going to celebrate. We're not going to have food, but let's do something that you want to do. Go for a walk on the beach, get a manicure, get a massage, go for smooches with my hubby, whatever it is that rocks your boat. That's what we're going to plan to do. So you put into play, Balance Center Alma, some tools that you can reward yourself. And all my friends will tell you that there's most of the things I do, I love to do, but there are some things that I really don't want to do, that I don't like to do. So what do? I reward myself. When I finish something that I didn't want to do, I get to play Candy Crush. That's one of my rewards. So, or a jigsaw puzzle, you know, and so this is how we begin to cut ourselves some slack. We begin to love ourselves and soothe ourselves in a way that it's not about the food. It is about the food, but it's not about the food. It truly is the fundamental thing is how we care about ourselves, how we stop letting the critic drive our life car over a cliff. And we stop letting our brat sabotage us continuously for many things, not just food. Does that make sense?
Okay. It makes sense. It does. It really
Good.
does.
Good.
It does.
So I want you to try this for, let's do 21 days for a habit to to hold. So I want you to, when we finish the call, I want you to go and I want you to write down all the things the critic says and all the things the brat say and all the things that you would like to begin to soothe yourself with imbalance centered. And that's going to be your script. So the next time you wake up and on your list, it said stretch, right? And your brat's saying, I don't feel like you can go to that script and look at what the response is. It's like, I know you don't feel like it, sweetheart, but we know that we will feel better after we do this. And if we do this 8 days in a row, you get blah, blah, blah. Does that make sense?
Makes sense. Definitely.
So do you commit? Raise your right hand. I commit. Repeat after me.
I commit.
Because I love myself.
Because I love myself.
To develop.
And
get to know.
And
strengthen.
And
strengthen my balanced, centered self.
And strengthen my balanced, centered self.
And so it is.
So it is.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Did you like that?
I did. I really did. My little sweet niece, I just love her to pieces.
That's so awesome. Yes, Dee is very special. I'm glad that she got you to come on, and hopefully the tool will help you a lot. And let me know.
I will.
Wonderful.
I will. Thank you so much. Pleasure meeting you, Marissa.
Absolutely. A pleasure to meet you too. All right. Thank you. And if you have just tuned in and wondering who that last person I was talking to, this is my Dr. Marissa, the kinder, gentler Dr. Laura show, where I get to do call-ins and receive whatever inspiration I get to help people be happier 88% of the time. And I love doing these shows because I never know what is going to come out of my mouth, number one. And you have to remember too, that I am, the name of my show is Take My Advice. I'm not using it. So I don't necessarily have to follow my own advice, but it definitely means that it's been helping. And I've been contacted actually from several people who in the past have gone through this. Big Will just contacted me and he was very happy. I think I spoke to him years and years and years ago and sort of gave him a little nudge to help with that. So, all right. We are getting ready for the other color, but this is a good time to take a commercial break to thank the sponsors who make this show possible. And for those of you who have a product or service that they would like to get maybe a little more holiday sales on, but they're not sure that, how to communicate sometimes we know we have a great product, or we know we have a great service, or we know how great we are if you're dating, but we don't quite have the words to get it out there. So I'm offering a workshop on October. Are we in October? Hashtag COVID confusion. I'm offering a workshop on Saturday, the 24th of October from 10 to 12 on Zoom. And it's called Be the Best That You Can Be and Broadcast It. And so if you sign up for that, I think it's $88 is the early bird. Normally these are thousands of dollars for workshops like this to write a commercial. And I'll help you write a 30-second commercial so that you can absolutely communicate and use it for your holiday sales or anything like that. So go to my website, www.drmarissa.life. And because I've been dubbed by Michael Bernard Beckwith, he actually introduced me to Oprah as the Asian Oprah. I'm going to do 2 Asian Oprah giveaways today. So the first one is for 1 spot in that workshop. So that's worth $88. After I think it's this Friday, it goes up to $99. So you'll want to get it now. But 1 free spot for that to the first person who goes to drmarissa.life and puts their name in the subject line for Asian Oprah giveaway. Or there's another one that I'm giving away right now, and that is my free ebook to 1 person of my new, well, it's not new, but a relaunch of 8, let's see, where did I put it? I think I put, it's called Mommy What Are Feelings, and we'll put it up at the end of the show. But it's thank you, Tony. This is a children's book that I wrote way back in 2007. My kids did all of the illustrations when they were 3 and 5. And I'm so grateful that thanks to Sheila Mack, who was on my show, she jogged my memory and told me it's time to bring it back out. So I'm using it as a fundraiser for my new nonprofit, 8 Ways to Happiness, so that children can feel comfortable talking about feelings. The story time is this coming Sunday at 10 a.m. and $18. You get, actually, it's now $25. But if you say that you heard 18, I'll give it to you for 18. I'm changing it today after the show. That's the early bird that we've been offering. And you get a free ebook download so that you can print it out and your children can come on Zoom from 10 to 11. So 1 free to the first person who goes and puts in the subject line, Asian Oprah giveaway, children's book. All right. Thank you so much. So we're going to go to our commercial, and we just had the caller and we just lost him. So let's go to the commercial break. And let me get that out. Thank you for all my sponsors for making this show possible. If you would like to be a sponsor and have me write and produce a commercial for you, contact me as soon as possible. And COVID rates are in. So instead of $1,800, it's $88 for a commercial. Here we go. Do you want to start your own podcast show on KCAA AM/FM radio? Join Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah, and Dave Ramsey on a CNBC NBC station that broadcasts to over 5 million and has listeners in 201 countries. KCAA delivers 300,000 hours of podcast downloads each month. And you can be on camera, on the air, on AM/FM as well, because the sun never sets on KCAA. For more details, contact me at www.drmarissa.life. All right. So
The person you have called is unavailable right now.
we are having some get a hold of issues. If you do have a question and you are listening right now, the number to call is 323 524 2599. And we had Kirby calling in from Georgia, but he's not on the line right now. So let's see, let's go and do what we were going to cover at the end. So at the end of the show, I usually do the balance bar. So welcome to the balance bar, please. Thank you, Tony. It's a birthdays, and y'all know I love to sing to my birthday people. So the two incredible people who are having birthdays in my life right now are my 85-year young mom, my Chinese mom, and she is in Toronto. She has Parkinson's and she is in some discomfort, but she's a trooper. And so she's having her 85th on the 19th, on the exact same day as my beautiful inside and out best little girl in the whole wide world. And her name is Sarah Wei. And Wei is Mandarin for serenity. And it is also her birthday on the 19th. And she's turning 21. So this is for you, loves. Let me take a sip of water first. Happy birthday, dear Mom and Sarah Wei. Happy birthday to you. Thank you so much. All right, so we're still having some issues, but if you'd like to call in, 323 524 2599. And D, if you're still listening, that would be great if you can call in and then we can talk about your children's book as well. But Tony, we haven't connected for a while, so guess what?
Yes.
Are you on camera?
I'm not on camera, but I am on mic.
Okay. Did you watch Social Dilemma?
I did. It was great.
Oh, good. I'm glad because I'm in conversation now to try to get one of the producers or one of the experts from the show to come on the air to talk about it. But tell me what your reactions were. And I actually covered this in my Monday new series called Monday Mind Your Own Business with Dr. Marissa. So those of you who are tuning in right now who actually were there with me, this will be a little bit of a repeat, but it's super important that you watch this documentary. And I don't recommend things a lot, but there's two docs on Netflix that you have to see. One is 13th by Ava, and two is Social Dilemma. And I'll tell you why after Tony tells me when you were watching it, what was your reaction to it?
I mean, like when they asked one of the founders, I don't know if it was of Facebook or Twitter or one of the, and they said, "What's your biggest fear?" And he said, "Civil war." And as you can see, and I don't want to get political, but as you can see with how social media has created what we thought was going to be a connection between people has become more a divisive tool because it's easy to, a lot of times in people's faces, you won't say certain things, but behind social media, you'll say whatever you want to say because there's no consequences other than just saying you're a bad person. Reading the words and hearing the words is different. So yeah, I think I'm taking that. It's like creating a nuclear bomb. At first you're probably thinking that's going to keep the peace, but if in the wrong hands, it will create something far worse. So
yes, absolutely. I had that same reaction to that same part of the doc. I remember that very clearly. Do you remember the part where, I can't remember, I think it's the one with the carrot hair. He said,
the red-haired guy?
Yeah.
I can't remember his name, but yeah.
Yeah, I can't either, but don't tell him. I actually asked him. I reached out to him, so don't tell him. But there was one point where it really clicked for me, which was when they said, how can people be so stupid? Like, how could you actually believe, and I'll substitute it, that science is bad, or that masks are not good, or that vaccines are not good, or that that there's a conspiracy theory, or all of these, like, how could you possibly think that? And I've said that. And then they said, well, it's because you're not seeing the same thing that they are.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh my gosh. So they're not reading what I'm reading. I'm not reading what they're reading. And there's a psychological term called Pygmalion effect. Have I talked about this before?
I don't think so.
Okay. So Pygmalion effect is a super powerful human phenomena where, that saying, I'll see it. I'll believe it when I see it.
Right.
Right? I'll believe it when I see it. And that basically is saying, show me the money, give me the proof, and I'll believe it. But I have to see the proof, right? So Pygmalion effect is so powerful that you can actually not see something that's right in front of you if you do not carry the BS, the belief system that you have about that thing. So at the risk of getting kicked for using some stereotypes here, my best example, and I can only say this because I'm Asian, but they've done studies where if you're driving and you get cut off by someone, if you carry a belief that Asian women are bad drivers, and I'm not, but if you believe that, if you carry that BS, then you're more likely to see someone that cut you off as an Asian woman driver. But if someone else who's not Asian cuts you off, it doesn't enter into the sphere of recognition. That's how powerful our BS is. So that on top of being fed news by AI, who caters what you see to click on based on your preferences or your BS, your belief systems, totally makes sense why we are, in the first time in the history of our nation, so polarized. The numbers are incredible of how polarized we are. Blue, red, on every indices possible. We are separated by the widest margin ever. And the level of hate, the incredible, heights of hate that we never had so poignantly as we do right now. And it's not that Facebook or Google or Twitter or LinkedIn or Snapchat or any of these have personally tried to do it, which is the point of social dilemma. It's not like someone set out to do that, but it's taken its course to become that. So what's the solution here? Did it change the way you looked at social media?
I mean, for me, yeah. I mean, and it shows, with algorithms and they have whole teams of people. I remember even once talking to Will, my spouse, about going and doing something, just talking about it. I don't know how, but all of a sudden on my social medias, those ads started showing up. I didn't type anything. We talked about it.
Ooh, that's
so
scary.
Yeah, so we talked about it. And even if you look up one thing, all of a sudden you start getting ads after ads for that product. So for the people that say I want my freedoms, well, yeah, we all do, but we don't. I mean, if you think about, they know everything we do, every location we're at, everything we look at, everything we like, everything we don't like. So they know how to manipulate. So yes, it's scary to think how we are completely not free, even though we think we are.
Yeah, totally. Because you click on one thing and then 10 things that are tantalizing to you come up, and you click that. And before you know it, 2 hours have gone by and you haven't finished anything that you wanted to do, or you haven't attended to your kids or your friends or your love, whatever it is. Same thing happens in tragedies where something happens and then you sit in front of the TV and let people who don't really know, because the facts haven't come out, conjecture and talk out of their butt about something they're so-called experts, and I know I'm a so-called expert, but it's like such a waste of time. You've lost an entire day.
Right.
So I like what the guy at the end said, but it's never going to happen. But just limiting, not letting kids until high school have social media, which is not going to happen. I'm sorry,
Right.
because it's that train has left the station. But as just like I was talking to Alma about setting up some conversations with your balanced, centered self as a person first, and then as a parent second. What is it that I want in my life? I want a full life where I have choices in what I'm thinking, what I'm saying, and what I'm doing. Knowing now that social media has the system set up to lead us into the rabbit hole, then it's not my job to make them stop. It's my job to make me stop. Right?
Oh, no.
I mean, we can go for legislation, but the train has left the station. So the only one who's going to be able to do this. So here's some practical things that you can do. First thing in the morning, I would say 9 out of 10 people reach for their phone and either go to Facebook or Instagram or somewhere and begin, or the news. And then an hour later, we may go brush our teeth. So I have a discipline of not picking up my phone and going to those sites. I also turn off all notifications. That way I don't know. I give myself a set time of when I get to go. So I have 2 times a day where I actually go, usually because I'm posting, and then I'll put a timer on for 18 minutes that I can spend looking through other people's feeds. And as soon as the alarm goes off, I'm out of there. That's my agreement with myself. 80% of the time I follow that. Would Will be able to follow that?
No.
Would you be able to follow that?
Yeah, actually, I don't really use, I mean, I look at social media, but I don't post a lot anymore. But like I said, he's in 2 relationships with me and his phone.
Yeah. And it is definitely, that's one of the reasons why humankind, the kind, is getting smaller and smaller. Because if we're so obsessed about our opinions, which is also something, the posts that you see are put there to either make you feel good about what you think or to inflame you to hate what someone else thinks.
Right.
So it's there to get a reaction from you. Why? To keep you on the phone. Why? Because then the ads can come in. So the professor from Harvard said that never in the history of humanity have the income from technology companies been so high, and the disparity is so high because of what AI has allowed, and it's not even the AI's fault, right? Write the algorithms, and then it sort of morphs itself into a smarter and smarter and smarter. So, it is our issue. It is our, when for parents, on the way to school, I had my kids, before they could be on their device, they had to tell me 3 things that they were grateful for and 3 things that they appreciated, one about their mom, one about their sister, and one about themselves. So even in that, and then when I picked them up from school, they were not, normally you say, how was school? Kids say fine, and then everybody's on their device. So instead, and even kids that I took home, like carpooling, knew that they had to spend 5 minutes going through every class that they went through to be able to tell me what really happened. And almost every time, halfway through, they would say, oh yeah, and I forgot to tell you this, and oh yeah, this was funny. And it becomes a conversation. We're losing our ability to have meaningful face-to-face or even meaningless conversation with each other. I can't control anyone else except me first, and then my relationships with the people that I have. I can't tell my kids now because they're adults, but I'm so grateful that they continue to show how important connection is. They'll call, I don't have to make them. We sit on the phone and we don't even talk much. We're just with each other on the phone, and I'm so grateful that I have that option. So a couple of tips there. I hope that you watch first the documentary Social Dilemma and 13th, and then 2, kind of work stuff like this into your daily discipline, because I promise you, if we let ourselves be led by the nose and abdicate our attention and our focus to other people who just want us to buy things, then we will not be happy 88% of the time. I promise you, you will not be happy, because all that's doing is feeding the whole, do I have more than you, or what externally trying to develop happiness. Happiness is an inside out job. If you can take a breath right now, am I 88% happy? I am. Tony, are you 88% happy?
I am.
I know you are. And that is the most important thing. And that is my rose-colored Kool-Aid for today. And I appreciate you staying here and always being supportive of my hashtag positively opinionated and hashtag positively opinionated and relentlessly inspiring. That's from April on my Facebook. Thank you so much, self. And I will continue to do that every week. Naturally High Noon. Keep it tuned here. Shout out to Jessica. I spent 2 hours with her on Apple Support today. She was phenomenal. She did something that people never do, which is they wait online until you're connected and try to problem solve together with Zoom. So thank you for that. I think I went the Asian Oprah giveaways. The Amazon Smile. If you want to support my nonprofit, please go shopping at Amazon. I just went back on what I just said, but I know you're going to shop there. Go to Smile Amazon, put in 8 Ways to Happiness, and use the link, and then my nonprofit will get a little portion from Amazon. All right. That's it for today. Have the best week ever. Keep it here to take my advice. I'm not using it. Get happy with Dr. Marissa. Peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace.